Word. Coming to you, we give light and solution to all life's issues. This message is brought to you by the Word Center Church, Nigeria, ministering Pastor Segun Olaseinde.
We're looking at something very important about love. This is taking scriptural advantage of love, part 4. So let me trust God to run. Let's close the note so I won't take time. There is the summary of the law. You give Matthew 22. Matthew 22, start from maybe 34 or 33. Let me see what that is. That will help me. There is a true summary to the law. Church, hear me. I want to teach you something very important, very profound today. It will do you good to understand it so that you can understand what love is. I'm not teaching you love towards each other first. I'm teaching you love by God and love back to God. You must love God to be able to survive in this kingdom. Who are me? Only lovers of God become Christians that make it to the end. Most people stop being a Christian along the way because their love for God is not genuine. So seasons confront them, times challenge them. When life happens to them, love disappears. There are many people today who truly does not love God, does not know God, and what they do every day is to use God only for a while. Majority will love God as long as things are convenient. Conveniency of love makes it a conditional love that does not stand with God. Genuinity of love is without condition. And most times, genuine love is inconvenient. I repeat that. Genuine love is inconvenient. Too much convenience makes your love fake. Genuine love makes a lot of inconveniences. True love is not convenient. True love is commitment. Somebody say amen. Okay. It amazes me that Jesus came 35. Jesus was explaining something that if you have just read Old Testament only, there is a tendency you won't get it. Yes. And how many of us has read the law before? Maybe we should start from Exodus 20. Let's go to Exodus. How many of us has read the law before? 10 Commandments is the centerpiece of the law. And if you have read the law before, Jesus came so that the law cannot produce the result we want. And sometimes we ask ourselves the question, how did it happen that God produced something that cannot produce what God wants? And most of us, our life is like a law. God produced you, but you can't produce what God wants in you. Will you hear me? Our life looks like the law. God produces you, fine. But you cannot produce what God wants in you. So you become like a law to God. So you become the old version of what God wants to do. God now has to end with you like an Old Testament and bring somebody else to continue and do exactly what He wants you to do. I always said to myself, it's painful when you see somebody doing what God wants you to do in life. Is it not painful to you? It's painful. It's painful. Have you ever that God tell you something, then somebody now did it? God show you something, then now wait, you can't do it. Then years after, somebody just rose up. You now begin to say, it is my dream. It's my vision. It's my life. Somebody is living your life. And because you fail to do it, exactly what happened to the law. God raised 10 commandments. And that commandment is broken into 2. Can we quickly go through it? I'm preaching about love. You might not be able to see it here, but you'll get it. And God speak all these words saying, I'm the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt and out of the hand of the house of bondage. Thou shalt not have other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images or any likeness or anything. Now, if you read it that way, up to like the 7th verse, it's talking about why God wants you to love Him. The law is about God. Don't have any graven image. Don't go to another God. Don't serve another thing. If you are God, take me from you to your children, to your children's children. He was saying all of that. Do not bow down self to any other thing, to another God. God was particular about making law that makes you connected to Him. Then the second part of the law, if we talk about thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not take another man's wife. And I think God should have added, thou shalt not take another woman's husband, because he didn't have that one. I didn't have that one. You look what you see. Because taking another man's wife was what was in those days. Now we have people taking another man's wife, another woman's husband. You look what you see. So maybe God did not write that one clear enough, so people did not see it. He said, thou shalt not take another man's wife, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not do this. Go to thou shalt not, that is small. Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not covet, thou shalt not take whatever. Then he begins to give us the second part of the law, which is connection to your neighbor. How you treat other people. How other people should have value to your life. What you see when you see other people. And I'm very disturbed today that when we see people, what we see is different. And if I tell you how men interpret this law, I can show you in Matthew chapter 5 how men interpret this law. You'll be amazed. But let me build it block by block so you can understand. So when it says this, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not is many. And after that law was given to men, after that law was given, men begin to live by the law, but they could not produce love out of it. They cannot produce anything from it. And Jesus now came in Matthew 22, verse 35 beginning. Now, can we go there? He said, this is the summary of the law. Somebody was asking me a question. So which of the law is the greatest? And I was expecting Jesus to say, thou shalt not kill is the greatest. Because to all of us, most of us that are here, the greatest sin is classified by how dangerous it is. Some of us felt killing is a big sin, lying is a less sin. We have classified sin ourselves. Some of you say, me, you see as a terrible person, but I just know. So I'm not lying, sir. These guys are murderers. They can kill, they assassinate us. And you that is lying, you felt lying is a cheaper sin. Now, someone now asked Jesus, then one of them, which was a lawyer, and a lawyer in those days is somebody who studied the law. Ask him a question, tempting him and saying, what's the question? Master, which is the greatest commandment in the law? Which law? The 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not bow to another God, thou shalt not have another God, thou shalt this, thou shalt that, thou shalt that. All of those laws are there. So they ask us, of this all the law, because with men classify it by how dangerous it is. So which of it is the greatest law? Then Jesus answered. Jesus said unto him, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. Next one. This is the first and the greatest, and the great commandment. Second one. Let's move on. And the second is like unto it, not is like unto it. It's like a conjoined twins. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Those two things are not written like that in the law. So they asked Jesus, they said, the summary of the law is love the Lord your God and love your neighbor as yourself. Come here. The two summary of the law. So it occurred to me that the reason why God gave law is to produce love. Follow me. The reason why God raised the law in the first place is not to keep men, it's to produce love and order. That men are put in order and they are able to have love. But at the end of the day, the law could not produce love in men, because the law has no empowerment of the Spirit to produce it. Let me go again. It occurred to me when Jesus said, the greatest law is to love. There is no word love in the law. But the revelation of that law, according to what everyone has in their mind, which Jesus represents the fullness of heaven on earth, it was shared that the reason why we gave you law is not to have law, is to love. Who get me? So if you are living by the law, we know by the love. If you are living by the law, we know by the love you show. Your love to God is which is the great, and your love to people. And thank God he said your neighbor. He didn't pick the kind of neighbor you want. Because neighbors are neighbors. The good are neighbors. The bad are neighbors. The terrible are neighbors. The unlovable are neighbors. The very wicked ones. The one that judge you. The one that hurt you. They are all neighbors. We come back to those neighbors. That neighbor is a deep word. It's a compound word. But what is Jesus saying? He said to us, the reason why we gave you law in the first place is to produce love. But we find that the same Jesus in Matthew 5 was saying to us, in Matthew 5, begin to explain the message called the message of the Beatitude. Matthew 5, 6, 7. Beatitude simply means the message of Jesus challenging the status quo of how church, men, and God operate. He began to challenge the law. And he said to us in Matthew 5, find it for me. He says, they set you an eye for an eye. So what the law produced in us, instead of love, was vindication, vengeance, retribution, retaliation. Men begin to do back to men what men do unto them. How do I explain this to you? Go stay there. Go back. Tell me, stay there. God came with the law. Thou shalt not. When you read it in 10, and you want to follow that 10, there's a tendency you're going to fail. Because you can't keep with the 10. Anybody agree with me? Do you understand what I was talking about? Do you know what I'm talking about now? Law is not, the law of God does not stop with just 10. The law continues even in Leviticus. If you read Leviticus, it was giving us more law. The law was so voluminous to the point that no man can keep it. And I tell you all the time, the more you create law system around yourself, the more people will fail you. Because men are not trained to actually keep the law. But God came and said, the reason why I gave you law is not to keep the 10. The law is just 2 things. But for us to explain that 2 to you, it became 10. But when you get it from the angle of love, you see 2. From the angle of law, you see 10. Understand that? So for me to love my neighbor and to love God, I can keep the law. But I can't keep that and not lie. How do I explain this to you? You see, I've not gotten what I want to get. For me to love my neighbor and to love God is easier for me as a law than for me to keep thou shalt not lie. Because I can lie. For example, Pastor, he called me and said, somebody I'm money mutimbo. And I've not left where I'm standing. I'm still busy doing what I'm doing. And they call me I'm mutimbo. I can't answer. Oh, that's it cool. But next time it's going to come. But you keep telling them mutimbo. You are still standing on the same spot. That is a lie. Abi? But God now said, about that, is that a love? That says you should love your neighbor and you should love God. That on those 2 things are the law. But why men don't see love in the law, what they do is to develop an attitude of retaliation, vengefulness, vindication. And men begin to fight each other by the law. Telling you that the law says to me, thou shalt not kill. But it didn't say more. Men now develop another part of the law. That if you kill, we kill you back. Jesus said, an eye for an eye. You have heard this said, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. If I love you, sir, and I break your teeth, let's say we are playing. And when we are playing or we are fighting, and I break your teeth, or I eat you. So when Jesus was talking about, when they slapped the first one, turn the second one, people tell that he's talking about the cheek. He's talking about the capacity of your love being enlarged. Ability to contain people, to accommodate people, to tolerate people. That's what he's talking about. He's not saying they should be slapping you. Who did he slap? As an example. For you to be slapping around. He slapped nobody. He's telling you about the capacity for you to retain, to understand that men can sometimes do what we ought to, but you must have an enlarged heart to still love them. So they say eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. It's always vengeance. So the law produces vengeance in men when God is expecting it to be a fruit of love. If law has produced love, Christ will not come. Men will have find their way back to God. But when law produces vengeance, retaliation, quarrels, fight, God says, okay, now, it now occurred to God that the law is full of letters that has no capacity of the Spirit, no empowerment to produce love. Have you ever read your Bible that says, for God has not given us the spirit of fear, but the spirit of power, of love, and of sound mind? Then you occur to you that love is a spirit. What I'm trying to lay foundation of this week is to understand that you cannot love because you choose to. The things that you know and I know, the more they relate with that law, the more they go away from love. So to love people is beyond you just being a natural person. The nature of a man does not love by nature. Men are born to love. Men are far distance away from. Love is not what you understand. And the Bible says love has to come as a spirit into us before we can begin to have that product. And the end result of gospel is to love God and to love neighbor. Even the gospel called Jesus Christ. So what happened? He now said to us that this law that we hold on to produce no love. Then God has now sent Jesus. I must say, for God loved the world so much that he sent his only begotten son. John 3:16. Who knows that scripture? Then I want to ask him, what does God love that make him send the law? Upon what is God's law predicated? Anybody? I know it's not a Bible study. I love Bible study. But upon what does God's law, on what does God base the law? Because redemption is based on love. But upon what is based the law? I'll tell you. Now, from the days of Noah, oh Jesus, can you accommodate this? From the days of Noah, when God saw men going against each other, the reason why God allowed the flood of Noah to happen is because men refused to yield to instruction of God. And the Bible says God looked at the earth and is desperately wicked. So most times when God reacts to the earth is to stop wickedness. And the answer to wickedness is the presence of love. So when God creates love, it answers the question of wickedness. How do I explain this to you? Jesus said. So anywhere you see wickedness is an absence of love. Okay, listen to me. How many of us here have seen, not happen to you, you have seen sibling rivalry before? Father, same mother, and the children are always rivaling themselves. Anybody? Raise your hand if you have seen it before. Anybody? Raise your hand. Please keep it up. Let me see. So I can know if I can use that analogy. You have seen it before. But do you know that the same person that could not live with his siblings can come to church? Follow me. Come to church. And that person has more family that is closer to, more people that he loves in church, more than the people he loves at home. And when he gets to church, there is genuine love. He has nothing in his heart against. Everything is free. He can relate. He can eat. He can even stop by eating and he dip his hand there and take it and eat without anything in his heart. But if he get home and his wife is eating, he will just go back. Why is there rivalry at home and there is no rivalry in the church? Maybe that should help me to get to where I'm going to. Will that help us? Because when we see rivalry, this one and this one, they are all siblings. And this one can't tolerate this one. This one and this one are fighting this one. Then this one also has a side where this one joins him to fight this one. There's always rivalry. They are fighting. And this person go to one church. This person go to one church. Another church. And three of them find love in church. When they get to church, people they met in church are not born together. They only came to church together. And most of us are not born together. I don't know most of you. When who gave birth to you, when they gave birth to you, I don't know. I can only talk for Deborah, Mary, Ini, who else again? Impact and Judah. That I know when they gave birth to them. All of you here, I don't know when they gave birth to you. Some of you have not even met who gave birth to you. But there is a love in my heart for you that nothing can take away. And I believe there must be some people here also whose heart is full of love for me. Nothing can take away. They take me as a father, as I take them as a children. Yet some of you that take me as a father, ask challenge with your own father. And me, I will see you on Monday. Sunday. See you on Tuesday. See you on Thursday. Some of you, I will see you some other days. Your parent does not see you for 1 year. And yet you guys, when you spend 10 minutes, you want to get out. Then you get to that house, you are looking at and you are finding your way out. Yet you can stay in church for 3 hours. And when we close, you refuse to go. You are still talking to somebody. You are still gisting. You are still playing around. And when you leave church, you feel that I've left the family. You feel more family in church than family at home. Why? Why? Why do you think it happens to us? Why? Let me do another one. Come, Oboy. Emmanuel, come. I'm closing now. You have to continue this on Tuesday. I'm teaching about more than a conqueror, but if I don't understand, let you understand why our love becomes spiritual. You won't get it. You just be thinking that we just love. How do we get that love? You think love is just what you learn, what you practice, what you just see others do and you do it? That's not love. Love is not all of that. Love is more. And until you understand that love is a spirit and it's a product and action of the spirit in you, answer, do you know, when God says, "He who I love, I chastise," do you think chastisement is easy? It's convenient? Man, I knew that. And I begin to say, Emmanuel, stand up first. By stature, Emmanuel is taller than me. No, he's not taller than me. He's very tall than me. This is not taller, because taller will be maybe Femi. Or maybe he can see my head. This guy he can look down at me and see my head. Are you getting me now? Are you okay? So if he comes to church, no matter how tall he is, if I'm a spiritual father, and I say, Emmanuel, he didn't tell me, I felt in my spirit that he has done something wrong, and I began to chastise him. So let's say chastisement is kneeling down. And I said, Emmanuel, in my spirit, okay, let me explain. In my spirit, I saw you did this. He said, Daddy, I said, you are wrong. Kneel down. That kneel down, is it a punishment or a love? So the leprosy of Gehazi, is it a punishment or love? Answer me. Because when it's love, you will recover. When it's love, punishment. When love subjects you, you will recover. When wickedness subjects you, you will not recover. It's a battle. Why do you find it easier in church? Because what will put you through in church is from love. But your parents can put you through some issues. And sometimes they can exert their wickedness on you. I don't know about you, but my mom has one character that I don't like when I was growing up. Stand up. I'm trying to let you see where love is. Come. Let's say she's my mom. We are 4. In my house then, I found something very previous when I was growing up. I'm the second born. So 1, come. Let's say you're the 1, 2, 3, 4. The only girl in our midst is the third. And being a girl, she can be a little bit, all of us are boys. So, and when I was growing up, we have almost 18 uncles living in my house. So I don't even know I'm the second born. I thought I was the last born. That's how much. So I'm used to this communal lifestyle because we are always plenty. Always plenty. So this is it. My mom now said, let's say this girl, because she's the one that is dramatic. She now get Gary. On her way coming, she poured Gary on the floor. She didn't sweep it. All of us that are boys, we don't even see it. She poured it down. She might see it. We didn't see it. Everybody's busy playing game, doing something. She now come from work and say, I don't mind that guy. Oh my God. My mom will not talk to her. She will not undo everybody and beat all of us for it. I said, what a wickedness is this? We are beating all of us for it. It took me time to understand it though. A long time. So anytime anybody offend her, or and she comes and says, Carlos Ekini, I'm just going down straight away. I just get out of that. And I might not go back to the house for the next 2 days. London, I'm just going to my cousins and I said, oh, I don't want to go. I said, that second day, I just thought I just came out. But Captain. I said, yeah. I don't want drama. I don't want it. Why? Because if I'm the one that did it, I gladly receive the punishment. But I felt that this is wickedness. When one person offends and all of us are suffering for it, exactly what devil did. Exactly. It was one person that offended. It was all of us that paid for it. Let me stop here. Let me not start on that teaching because I will take you deeper. And I might not be able to finish it. Because you know to understand that when God begins to introduce something, he has an objection. And sir, if redemption does not give you love, your redemption is fake. If redemption does not produce love in you, your redemption is fake. And that is why we know a true Christian is not somebody that can speak in tongues. Anybody can manipulate that. Green devil. True redemption will produce what the law failed to produce, which is love. The true evidence of our Christianity is love. And that is why it's spiritual. I can tell you if you're a Christian by putting you through a test of love. And majority of us don't have love. Or we have selective love. We love those who love you. I wish I can show you. No, go back to Matthew 5. Jesus said, it is, go back there, find it. Say it is written, love them that love you and hate them that hate you. Find that scripture for me. Maybe it is before or after. It bemuses me that when they said that, I laugh. Jesus was saying that to them, and it occurred to me for the first time that there was no hate that I hate you in the law. Men interpret it the way they want. And by that interpretation, they add it to the law. But I say unto you, love your enemies. No, before then, go there. Verse 33. Find it. 43. Say you have heard that it has been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thy neighbor. Well, God never added that to it. It came from Israelites. There was no hate your enemy in the law. They added that themselves. And most times, can I tell you one truth as I close? How many of us in the church has been actually raised to hate? By all these negative prayer points. Most of you have killed your family members like 45 times. When you turn to your family, all you want today is to see death. Die, everybody, die, uncle, die. And if it's only you, will you survive? Father, back to my father's house, that he lives in one messenger. And you have been saying that for sometimes I even laugh. Does God kill that way? All this die. Does God really in your family? How many have died? You have been praying. How many? How many has your prayer killed? Capacity to kill is not in hatred though. Bible says if your enemy is hungry, feed him. That's how you kill him. And we saw that in Esther. Gave food to Naaman till they died. Most of us are not spiritual. This hatred in our heart. And how do you tell me you are a Christian, sir? And you can't live peacefully in your neighborhood. You are the center of violence and trouble. You are the trigger to electric shock. Any small thing like this. What's your problem? And next thing you just start praying. Jesus, you are fake. Because the true inflection of your redemption is love. It's not all this, Jesus, you are worthy. Savior, that worthy. CCM. Thy alone art worthy to be praised. Thy alone art worthy to... Sister, Jesus, 6:30, go to the well. Sorry. You are not a Christian. How do you switch from that? Switch from that. That Jesus to Kuni. How do you do that switch? That is why I tell you, if anybody ever prophesied to you, run from your family. That prophecy is fake. Take it from it. If anybody ever prophesied to you, run from your family. That prophecy is what? Is true fake. I was sharing. Somebody called me some days ago and said, somebody should run from me. I said, the family that didn't kill you when you were young, they can give you poison as a sweet. Because they can give you poison as a sweet and you just lick sweet and die. They send you to school. They help you get married. They did everything for you. Now that you are now grown, they say you should run from them. Run to where? If they want to kill you since you are born, won't they kill you? But any Christianity that tells you that there is division, I say a house divided cannot stand. Division does not come because men say so. It comes because there is no love. Nothing produces division like absence of love. We continue on Tuesday. I want to close. I don't want to go and start something because I should be taking it to Abraham and we build up that way. Let me summarize again. For those who just begin to hear me, the work is serious because at the beginning you didn't hear me. This is what I was saying in summary. Jesus was asked a question. Which is the greatest of the law? Jesus now said something using a word that does not exist in the law. He says the law is love the Lord your God with all your might, with all your heart, with all your strength. Then love your neighbor as yourself. Then we look to Exodus 20. What he said is not there. But we now find out that that's the revelation of what he was saying. The law has two parts. The part to God and the part to people. Then we find out that what law was to produce was love. Then we find that law could not produce love. It became a tooth for a tooth, an eye for an eye. That's the bad logo. And the Americans today are still vengeful. When God said vengeance is mine, He took it away from us. He took it away from us completely. You can't take vengeance on your own. He took it. The day you take it your own, God take His love from you. Most of us are too vengeful. Somebody hurt you. So there are people that has a record of offense of 12 years ago. Remember that primary 3. I'm up at the future. That's primary 3. Now you are in an institution. You saw that person, and there is an anger in you that rise. What? And the next thing is that you are a Christian. How do you become a Christian? Who gave you card? ID card of Christianity is love. So I'm saying to you that the love will not produce because the love has no power. So when Jesus came, what he came to do is to bring us back to that love issue, that love platform. And redemption is love to God and love to people. So I said to you that the real love is spiritual. You can't produce love from the flesh. You can't just love a person. Does he love you? Yes, that's filial love. It does not die. It runs on pleasure and convenience. Like God could not come to us through it. It came by agape. It's called unconditional. So for a good man, somebody will hardly die. But while we are still yet a sinner in our terrible state, Christ died for us. That's love. The love I'm telling you to have is not the love of I love my wife. Some of the love you know is even fake. Because you won't check the love after 7 years. You will see that people don't love themselves. Truly. It's just they find convenience, they want life, they want to settle down, and they settle down. And after 7-10 years, they've come to a point in their life, they understand that this is the person I have to live with. And they now have wisdom to live with that person, not love. That is why most marriages are having shaken today, because the guy can tell you, look, I'm responsible to you, responsible to the children, that's my responsibility. But my heart is my heart, it belongs to me. Just leave my heart. Just let's live together in peace and die. Is that what you know? And if that is love, because it's shocked you at the beginning. When you are not yet married, sex is more tempting. When you get married, sex becomes boring. Philo will always push you to that pleasure and sin. When you have not get married, your body is doing like it's on fire. Every sex is enjoyable. Then the same sex with the same person when you get married. They will tell you after 1 month, that's what saying. It didn't happen to you before. It has happened to me. I'm familiar. Now tell me. But you know, God's love for you is constantly constant. That you and your wife can stay in one house for 2 months and nothing happens. Nothing. You will be sleeping naked though. Beside yourself, you won't see yourself. But when you wake up, you have demons pursuing you. When you wake up, you are trying to get to the place where you are trying to get demon back off your back. Jesus, you are naked. She's naked. You are naked. You didn't see that she's naked. Because all you are seeing, you are even seeing clothes. You apply everything like that. Or you're like, am I lying? I'm telling you the truth, 100% truth. You won't even see it. Your mind is too busy because next morning they are telling you about school fees that you need to pay. And the school has sent you text 6 a.m. reminder. As you wake up, you check it, say, today is the last day to pay the child school fees. And your brain is telling you, say, this guy must come, this guy must stay at home. And someone has said, hello, say, oh, hello. Because your brain is working that direction. Let me tell you one truth today. I'm closing, or let me close. See, look at me. Come, both of you come. Let me just give us space, please. See, come. Women thinks about need. Men thinks about legacy. I'll give you an example. That's what makes marriage to be sometimes be challenging. Because your thinking will not be on the same frequency. While the man is thinking about legacy, I start thinking of if I die at 30, what will I leave behind? I start thinking about that at 30. Like, if I died, what would I leave behind? I start that thinking at 30. No woman can start thinking that way. Like what she's thinking is wedding gown. After wedding gown is children's clothes. She's thinking of Christmas after next Christmas. The moment this Christmas finish, she's thinking of next Christmas. What am I going to wear? And he's thinking also for you that next Christmas I'm at. And you, who's the photo shoot? Can you photo? I want to share. Can I picture? Can I show? The guy is under pressure. We need to buy land. We need to do something that will outlast us. I need to do something that these children can fall back on if I'm no more. This man is thinking of Ibololo. And the man is then vacation. Take a good time. Take a reach in restaurant. Int'L go at last. Can hang out. Can hang over. Can hang off. It's okay. But this guy is thinking of legacy. How do we build? When the man built one house, the moment he finished that house, he's thirsty for another. He became thirsty for another one. The woman can tell you this one is convenient. Now let's build that. Let's enjoy our life. We have come to enjoy. Let's enjoy. Now, is it wrong? Both of them are right. It is called filial love. It's thinking of legacy, a name. And every man that does not think about the name is not worthy to be married. Never marry a man who has no desire to have a name. He's not pursuing to have a name. Don't marry him. Because that guy will be you over time. That means he's going to be a girl. You just marry another girl in a man's body. And that is why, and you see women complain. Have you met a rich man's wife before? And yet they complain. Poor man's wife is too, I don't like them. When you see a poor man's wife complaining, they complain about everything. A rich man's wife is just one thing. Attention. A poor man's wife is everything. That is looking for a way out of poverty. At that time, because the day you come back home and see you in that state, he's beating you too. But will this guy stay with me forever like this? The guy is stepping out every day looking for a way out. Other there are more men criminal than women criminal. They are looking for a way out. But she is looking for a woman can stay with you in poverty and still enjoy life. Let me tell you, a woman, if she let her, she is where she is and she has job, she has money, she's doing business. God forbid now she doesn't have a husband, she'll be very depressed. Come here, if he's doing well, he has a job, he has money, there's not go to any room. Go by life alone. Go to any room. And I'm telling you, but let this guy marry this girl. This girl will be happy, this guy will be depressed. Because so every time they go up in the morning, this girl they give her money. Respectfully or not even deservedly. But the guy is, no matter what size, not happy. He's feeling so bad, he's feeling so down. Though he has money. The day he step out and he make money on his own, and he can come back home and buy just 2 egusi and 1 cup of Ferrari, the guy is happy. That's the way God make us. Class over. So, there you go. I'm a crack, you know. See, you are a Christian. A Christian without love is not a Christian. The hallmark of true Christian is love. So we continue on Tuesday,
okay? We hope you were blessed by that wonderful message. You can also follow us on our social media handles at TWC Nigeria. The Word Center, a people fat and flourishing. Stay blessed.